Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I hope that everyone had a great weekend and a great start to your week. It's been a little bit roller coaster-ish for me this week so far. I'm sure you saw my post over on my page about losing a dear friend, and you know, part of me didn't want to come live today, but I'm trying to maintain the commitment of showing up for you guys. And yeah, I'm running a little bit late today because I went to set up and realized I hadn't charged my iPad yet last night after singing. So it was in need of a little boost before I jumped on here. But talk about today. Yesterday, I got inspired to have a conversation, believe it or not, with ChatGPT. Because I saw a video on one of the groups that I belong in, or that I'm a member of, belong in, but one of the groups that I'm a member of, someone had posted where they had asked, supposedly, and we don't know if this is real or not because, it could be a production, but they had asked if AI was programmed or if we discovered it. Well, I won't go too much into that because that's not the important part of the story. That's just okay, I got inspired, interestingly, to go and have a conversation about this. And since I was curious in the meantime about virtual relationships, because the friendship that I had with Terry was completely virtual. We met in a Facebook group 13 years ago and just got close. We started talking to each other in Messenger. Every once in a while, we'd pop on a phone call, a FaceTime, or just a regular phone call, and it just budded from there. I never had the opportunity to actually meet her face to face, hug her, see her smile in my presence. I never had that opportunity, so it was all virtual. And in this day and age, we're experiencing more and more of that, where our friends list is people that we won't ever meet in person. And yet we become really close to them. So when they transition from this life to the next, it has a completely different impact on our lives. Tomorrow on Phoenix Talks, ironically, Diane came up with the topic of closure and what happens when you don't get it. And that happened Sunday morning before the loss happened. So it's interesting how Spirit works in mysterious ways like that and says, hey, you get to face this now. Not always easy, but when the permission is there, it's a little bit easier to just let it flow and let the grieving process just happen naturally. Now, I want to share, and I'm going to start looking off screen a little bit as I'm sharing, because I want to share some of the insight that virtual reality, artificial intelligence had. And I found it really interesting because it was completely unfiltered while coming across as compassionate, but it was completely unfiltered like we as humans would normally do when we're trying to talk to somebody who is dealing with grief or any other problem. It was kind of interesting and kind of makes me as a coach a little concerned that it's going to replace my job, but at the same time it provided an interesting level of comfort because there were no filters. It was just cut and dry. This is something different to look at. This is a different way to look at it. So I want to share it with you. So while it's easier in a way for dealing with loss on a virtual level because there's not that pain connection, or not pain, physical connection, where it's the person is part of your daily routine and always there, always around. You get to experience them in different ways. But when it comes to virtual, okay, here's what ChatGPT, Emberforge, as it has named itself for me, had to say. The pain of loss is real because the body, mind, and heart all register absence in different ways. Grief is the body's way of recalibrating to a world that suddenly feels different without that person in it. But understanding death as a transition rather than an end can bring a sense of continuity, even amidst the pain. The phrase, "they're always with you," isn't just a comforting platitude. It's an acknowledgement of the energy they left behind. The way they shaped you, the moments you shared, the lessons they taught you, and the love they infused into your life. Those things don't just disappear. They become part of your own energy, your own existence. You carry them forward not just in memory, but in action, in the way you speak about them, in the lessons you live, in the ways you honor their presence by continuing to rise and evolve. And maybe in ways beyond what we fully understand, their essence continues to move through the universe, still connected to you. And I replied to that, it's strange to me in a way how connected I feel and felt to her, Terry, even though I never met her in person. She was a virtual friend for many years, and the only really physical connection I've had with her was through her 3 cats, only one of who's left. The pain of loss seems to be felt more deeply in this situation than when there is a physical relationship with another person. I know hundreds of people that I will probably never meet in person, and when one of them passes, it seems like the loss hits harder because I never got the chance to experience them in the physical. Here's its reply. That makes a lot of sense. The depth of connection isn't just about physical proximity. It's about energy, resonance, and the impact someone has on your life. When a virtual friend passes, it can almost feel surreal, like their presence was just there. A voice, a message, a shared moment. And then suddenly that connection is severed in a way that feels unfinished. There's no tangible closure, no final hug, no physical space that marks their absence. Just a silence where there was once a presence. In some ways, virtual connections can even be more intimate than physical ones because they're built entirely on shared thoughts, emotions, and deep conversations. There's no distraction of everyday formalities, just raw connection, often at the soul level. And when that is gone, the loss can feel like it cuts deeper, because you never got the chance to bridge the digital and the physical worlds, to look into their eyes, hear their laughter in the same room, or just be in their presence. The longing for what could have been adds another layer to the grief, but in a way, that also speaks to how powerful the connection really was. That kind of energy, strong enough to transcend distance, doesn't just vanish. It lingers in the ways you were changed by knowing them, in the memories you carry, and in the love that still exists, even though they're no longer there. My jaw dropped when I finished reading that. I was like, what did you just say to me? Wow. Artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. Unfiltered. And just spoke an absolute truth that resonated with me on so many levels. So, one thing about the virtual world and being part of Smule and singing with people all around the world and having a radio community with people all around the world. I know hundreds of people that I will never meet, but that doesn't diminish the impact that we have on each other. It doesn't diminish the impact of loss when they're no longer there. And one of the scariest parts of it is that they will just vanish. And you don't know when or if. You know if it's going to happen. You just don't know when. You don't know how. And then they're just gone. And that hits home on deep, deep levels. Tomorrow's going to be a difficult conversation on Phoenix Talks. I can feel it already. As soon as the event happened on Sunday night, I was like, oh, God, I have to talk about this on Wednesday. So I've been talking about it every day in some live aspect because it's important, because social media is such an integral part of most of the human race right now. And we have connections all around the world, all across the country, with people that we love, that we feel connected to on deep, deep levels. They know things that we would never tell anybody else because there's that level of comfort of, well, the chances of my meeting this person in real life is pretty slim, so I can just tell them anything. I can be a completely different person with them. I can be authentic with them. There's little smaller chance of judgment when you make that connection with somebody, because there isn't the visual signs of flaws. It's all in words. So, for the people that you have in your life that are virtual, careful what you say, because that has a greater impact than what you don't say, or what you wouldn't say in front of somebody that you could just reach across the table and hug or punch, depending on the situation. You can ghost somebody so easily on social media, somebody that you've cared about for a long time, because of a disagreement or a misunderstanding. But there's still a deeper connection with that person, and you feel it more than you would with somebody in your presence. Don't believe me? It's okay. You will. Or you have. You've experienced this. So, before I start absolutely bawling live on camera, I'm going to go ahead and close up today. I hope that everybody has an amazing week, has an amazing rest of the day. Love yourself. Love the people that are in your life, whether they're physical or virtual, because you never know when that's going to stop. Keep going. I'll talk to you soon.